Hiker Jay here. This week we're going to be talking about UCO's candle lantern, the Candlelier, the deluxe candle lantern that they have out that's a 3 candle. Now, you may have watched my other video where I did a single one for backpacking with the neoprene sock. Absolutely love this one. I'll put the link to that up here on the right. But now we're going to be talking about its bigger brother, the 3 candle one, the Candlelier. I've really come to love this one. I'm going to tell you all about the features. And we're going to try to find out if you can really boil water on top of this, which a lot of people say you can. So I put that to the test, and we're going to check that out too. And as we get into this, as usual, all the products that I'll be talking about will be linked down below in the description down below, so you can check that out yourself. All right, now the candle lantern, been around for a while. UCO, they do a bunch of different things, or UCO, however you want to say it. They do several different products, but by far the candle lantern's my favorite. I've had this one for over 20 years, still kicking and going, and love it. From the standpoint of burning it in a backpacking tent, pulling a little bit of the moisture off the top, especially when it's really cold, to burn that off. This we've been using for my son in his van. He's been doing sort of a van lifestyle type thing, and we've been using this close to freezing temperatures. Now, it will not warm the van up at all, but I'm going to tell you, when it is cooking, you can get your hands over this and it can really warm it up. All right, before we light these up, let's talk about the construction. It's like an aluminum outside, plastic on the bottom, and glass on the inside here. So you do have to be careful with it. I did opt for the neoprene sock for this one. It's huge, kind of hard to get on here, but I think it is important. Even though I put this in my gearbox, it's pretty well protected. I still don't want it smashing around and breaking. So the way it works is a lot like its smaller brother, is you twist it from the bottom, and this part comes off. Then you have all 3 candles here. Now, this will spin here, and then you'll have a spring-loaded candle that'll be in there. You don't want to lose this bottom piece. This is all part of the candle lantern, and then you'll have to get candles to swap it out and go with. Now, you can go with a regular just white candle like this. They also have the honeycomb candle, which I absolutely love. It burns cleaner, it doesn't do as much smoke, but they're more expensive. And then they have like a blue one that is more for mosquitoes and such. I use Thermacell products for that, so I don't really use that. I kind of go with the cheap ones to just burn, but like if I'm using my tent and using my smaller one, I'll go with these honeycombs because I absolutely love them. So right now I've got it loaded with 3 white candles. And the neat thing about this is you can adjust the light that you have in your tent. So yeah, you could have an LED light on or something in your tent, but actually having one of these burning in your tent or in your van, especially my son's van, it's just a really cool ambiance. It's almost like having a fire because it's there's 3 of them. So it's like having a nice little fireplace going off in the side. Plus, you honestly can put your hands over it and get warmed up on it. Now, let's talk about boiling water on this, because a lot of people talk about that and they show that. And here we're going to cut to a camping trip that we were just out on. My son was using it in his van, and I just wanted to see if we could boil water and how long it would take. So let's cut to that. Let's see. Can you see? Water's got a little bit of ice on there. We're going to set it on there and see if we can get it to boil. Just past 15 minutes, maybe 16 minutes. Let's see what we got for a boil. Oh, we got bubbles on the bottom. Okay, maybe this is possible. Take my glove off. Okay, it's just getting warm enough. I'm gonna let it roll for a little longer. Okay, we're coming up on 30 minutes. Let's see how we are doing here. No boil. Not sure if you can see it, but there's steam coming off. I could still keep my finger in it, but it's hot. So 30 minutes, not really a boil. All right, we're coming up on 45 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Oh, no boil, but definitely hot water. Okay, you can't really keep your hand in it yet, so it's so close to boiling. So if you really wanted to boil water on this, you'd have to have it going for 45 minutes to an hour. But if you're in a situation where you really need to warm up, after 15, I'd say 25 minutes, you could drink it and really warm yourself up. So pretty cool concept to be able to just plop it on there and be able to heat up some water. Boil, not so much, I don't think, because we've got all 3 candles going. And been 45 minutes now, and we're just at a kind of hot enough where you can put your finger in, but you don't want to leave it in there. That's the temperature. So as you can see, using kind of a Sierra cup right on top to try to boil some water. I didn't even have it full all the way. It doesn't really boil. It gets pretty hot though. I do think it's hot enough to do like a little bit of hot chocolate. I would probably do a meal, a backpacking meal too with it. Just know that it's going to be sitting there for 45 minutes to an hour till it really gets warm enough to do it. You could just see the steam in it and everything in the video. So boil water, no, but actually heat it up and use it in some way, or scoop snow up in a survival situation and melt it, absolutely, that would work for sure. Now we've just been setting it on things because it sits so nicely like that, but it could certainly hang as well too on something. So it's got a couple different hangers. I do love that they have that spot that'll just center like that and it'll hang. This may seem like it's a little bit in the way for packing because it sticks out on the sides, but it's really not that bad. We just put it down and it works just fine. Let me show you the neoprene. So I learned that I put the long side on over the glass because there is a gap. Maybe once it stretches out, it'll change, but this is a tight sock that goes on here. So you get the top part on, now you've got the bottom there, right? So you gotta kind of work it around. It's got the cool UCO logo on there, but you can see like it's still got some of that metal right there. I don't think that's a big deal because that's really well protected. What I wanted was the globe to be protected. So in its case like that, pretty nice. Goes right in my gearbox. It can bounce around, but you can tell it's not going to rattle or anything. Now let's light this up for you and show you how it works. So to light this up, pretty simple. You cannot light it with the top on. You do have to take this top off. I'm going to use the UCO little stormproof, waterproof matches. Way overkill for this, but they're kind of cool. So awesome for starting a fire because they burn for so long. Throw that one up. Perfect, just enough time. All right, so now we've got them lit. We put the old cover on here, and all the heat's coming out of these vents on the top already, so you got to be careful. This heats up pretty well. Of course, not quite enough to boil full water, but get there pretty close. So you can kind of see this is the glow of the light. Let me turn off my studio light so we can see how much light it gives us in here. I waited till evening so that you could kind of see how well it lights in here. So it casts a really nice light down here where we're working. But the more you get away from it, I can see it out on the walls. I can see the water bottles, hats, different things pretty well with it. Now that's with all 3 candles lit. And as you can see, it's kind of got that warm look to it, right? Like that warm campfire feel to it. And I think that's probably one of the greatest things is just the ambiance of it. Let me know, do you have one of these? Do you have one of the little brothers? Would you get something like this? Go ahead and comment down below. Till next time, just remember, life's a hike, so hike happy. And take some candle lanterns. They keep you warm, they give you light, and they're just good for your soul. I feel like I'm hanging out with a campfire.